Kyle, who do you think's the most well-equipped to be the guy on their team in 2020?
Easy segue. It was the Mario to Thielen's Luigi. It's Stefon Diggs. And maybe it was reversed to the Mario and Luigi. Stefon Diggs is a Buffalo Bill, and it kind of feels to me not so much like a whodunit, more of a why did it? Why is Stefon Diggs out of Minneapolis? What is the story here, guys? He was a star player who got a massive contract extension, who was going to play in a dome with a good quarterback for a long time. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and 100 catches. But didn't it seem like he was miserable there? What was it that was so bad about Minnesota that he wanted to leave? He was the mini miracle guy. He was iconic, and yet he didn't want to be there. Obviously, from all his actions, well, now you get your wish, and you go to Buffalo, where you are the man. And listen, there's been a lot of receivers who have gone to Buffalo who are supposed to be the man, and it doesn't work out. But Stefon Diggs, for whatever means you used to get out of Minnesota, you now have a very good team with a very good defense and a very talented quarterback. We love Smokey Brown and Cole Beasley. No, Stefon Diggs, you are the guy. You're the biggest name they've probably had at receiver since Andre Reed, who has a yellow jacket. So I don't know why you wanted to leave Minnesota unless you were kind of jealous in some way. We'll get into that. But right now, there's nothing to be jealous of. Go be the man, because you don't want to be looking back in Minnesota and saying, man, I had it really good there.
Stevie Johnson's ears just perked up and said, excuse me? Don't forget about me, Kyle.
Stevie Styles?
Yes.
Stevie Johnson.
Great receiver for the Bills. Okay, I look at this, I look at a guy who's been waiting for the opportunity to be the guy, who has been watching and waiting and really bided his time. Teddy Bridgewater's finally an unquestioned number one in the league, and I am so happy for Teddy. He's the QB1 down there in Carolina, and it's the perfect fit. He's with a young team. The expectations are not through the roof right now, and he can help build and grow and help take that team from the bootstraps and bring them along. Everyone knows about Matt Rule. Does everyone know about Joe Brady, his offensive coordinator? This might be the secret hire of the offseason. Joe Brady is that man right there. 2 years ago, he was a quality control coach for the New Orleans Saints as a 29-year-old, and he worked with Teddy Bridgewater, as you see right there, the number two. Two of them grew to have a great relationship, such a great relationship that the NFL Network has B-roll of the two of them working out before games, as we're seeing here. Well, Joe Brady last year gets offered a big role to be the passing game coordinator at LSU. He says, okay. Sean Payton says, you sure you want to leave the NFL to go be an assistant coach in college? He goes, gets there, and Joe Burrow goes on to have 60 touchdown passes. 1 year later, Joe Brady's the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater's the quarterback. Everyone's worried about this coronavirus situation where the new quarterbacks and new coaches cannot be on the same page and might have a little harder time to adjust to a new playbook because they're not in the same facility. Joe Brady and Teddy Bridgewater speak the same language. They'll pick it up just like that. I can't wait for Teddy to have his opportunity to be the QB1 yet again in the NFL.
All right, for me, I'm going with a couple of guys that are going to make each other better. So the individual that I know is going to be that guy because the team is well equipped around him. Larry Fitzgerald. I know you're saying, Nate, he's an older guy. What are you talking about? No, Larry Fitzgerald can still play at a high level. Larry Fitzgerald last year, 75 catches, 800 yards, 4 TDs. There's a reason why he came back, because they promised him to make sure that at least if he's going to go out, he'll go out with talent around him, and they did that. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, listen, I feel like this is going to be something like Larry Fitz and Anquan Bolden. They had a 2008 season where they had 185 catches combined, 2,500 yards, and 23 TDs. I feel like that could be the 2020 version of D-Hop and Larry Fitz. And because I know what it's like to live in Arizona and I'm familiar with the insects that are indigenous there, which are scorpions, and D-Hop has a game that's cold. You mentioned Mario and Luigi. I feel like Larry Fitzgerald and D-Hop are like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They don't say much, but they are deadly. Get over here!
Scorpio and Sub-Zero. Even I know what that is. Finally, I knew a reference. Hey, Nate, I don't know if you saw this. I want to bring up another guy who I think is very much set to be the guy. I am so ready for the Miles Sanders show in Philadelphia. He's set up there. Doug Peterson with the Eagles has never had one feature back, and that's exactly what Miles Sanders is. Following up on a 1,300-yard season last year, he averaged over the last 4 games when he finally inherited that feature role over 120 yards per game. And he also also had 4 touchdowns in that time. So here's what happened. I actually don't want this tweet just yet. Here's what happened yesterday, Nate. He put up a workout video, right? And he's working out really hard, and he says, I want to be the MVP. I'm training like the MVP. And he said it like a couple of times, like a mantra, like he was getting himself pumped up. And it went like mini viral yesterday about he can't say that. Who does he think he is? I'm ready for Miles Sanders to take it over. I want, if I'm an Eagles fan, my running back to feel that way and act that way. So then you just saw the tweet. He's saying his confidence is in the roof. He's not apologizing for it. Don't be surprised when it happens. Is there anything wrong with him saying that he wants to be the MVP or will be the MVP, Nate?
There's nothing wrong with that at all. You put it out there in the universe. It's going to be hard for a running back to do it, but I can appreciate that. I did see him working out. I think he's working out with Saquon because they're close and they both look like little beasts.
Yep.
And Schrager just dunked on me during 2-point conversing a segment ago talking about Miles Sanders. So I feel you on that, man. Miles Sanders, he's primed for a really good year.
I'm excited to see what that all looks like on the field in 2020.